What yours?
Today, because like,
70s.
yeah, exactly.
Alrighty, George, you're good? Rolling. All right, let's get started. I believe it's a little after 7. I'd like to welcome everyone for the April ZBA meeting. Noreen, we missed you last month. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
It's not the same without you.
Aw, thanks.
No, thank you. Would you like to do a roll call?
No.
All right.
John Seeley.
Here.
Kevin Scully.
Here.
Chip Postiglione.
Here.
Steve Thaw.
Here.
Zach Murphy.
Here.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Please rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, and please just make note of the fire exits. There's 2 behind you. Those 2 doors you probably came in, and there's exit out here behind us. Yeah. All right, we'll start up. First up in the public hearings will be Wagshaw.
Verify Ashley.
Ashley, can you hear us?
Great. How you doing tonight?
Very well.
Could you please state your name?
Sure. My name is Michael Sandor, representing MJS Engineering, as well as my client, obviously. I
Welcome
understand
back.
It's a public hearing. You want me to?
Yep, yeah, we're just
Summarize?
going to ask you if you would just summarize, because it's been 2 months since I think you were here last. Last month, we had to move things along to this month, so if you wouldn't mind just summarizing of when we last met.
Sure. There was various things that you asked me for last month. Survey, fill out a form, or I actually have my notes here.
Yeah, we asked for when it was done, building drawings and plans, survey with the raised seal, photos. We needed the lot coverage
Correct.
to be verified. And I had a question here on building height.
Yes, and I responded to that
Yes.
in a letter, and I filled out the form. All right, so the applicant submitted a building permit on August 7th, 2023 for a second-story addition on an existing 3-car garage. The building department issued a letter of response on August 17th, 2023, denying the application due to the schedule of district regulations in the SR10 zone regarding the side yard and the lot coverage. In reviewing the history of the project, or the property, it is noted that the zoning board issued a side yard variance for the same structure. In other words, the building department was reviewing a second story on an existing structure. In other words, the zoning board issued a side yard variance on July 17th, 2008. The building department is requesting an additional variance for the lot coverage, and I'll explain why. I'm
Go ahead, continue.
was she asking me a
No,
question?
no. Yeah, I think she said denied, something like that. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
April Fools.
Yes.
All right, so the building department is requesting an additional variance for the lot coverage. And the reason is, in 2018, the bulk requirements were revised from 40% lot coverage to 15. So what we're also asking for, two variants, is the reinstatement of the side yard variance down to 20 feet, which was previously granted some years ago. And then the additional lot variance is the lot coverage. And that's because in 2018, the bulk requirements were revised from 40% to 15. So that's it in a nutshell. It's an existing building. The footprint hasn't changed. Obviously, the lot coverage was revised, so we need a variance on that. And that's it.
The side yard that we're speaking of is the west side of the property with a offset of, is it 20.6 feet? Is that what we're talking?
That's correct. The
Okay.
existing distance is 20.6 feet. So
And
we
it-
figured we'll ask for a variance like it was the last time for 20 feet.
So as I look at it, and I look at my notes, the funny thing is I see the driveway is over on the other property. Is that the driveway? I digress, I'm sorry. So, when I go down my notes, and I've had a problem, someone on the board refresh my memory, the photos, did we see photos?
I don't believe so.
I submitted photos.
Right, because we asked for photos. I don't remember seeing,
I had a cover letter December 3rd last year, and I added photos.
what's interesting to me is in 2008, the variance, right? On November 14, 2008, you're saying the ZBA granted you a variance, granted this piece of property a variance.
That was before the construction of the garage. In other words, he was planning to build a garage,
Oh, yeah, I get it.
and the applicant came in for a variance.
And it was awarded to them.
Correct. In July of 2008.
So then you got was the lot area coverage verified?
The lot area coverage that we put in this application is based upon the survey, which is which was done just recently.
And we got that survey with the raised seal? Yes.
Yes, I did
Yep.
send that to the board. And the lot coverage today is 28.2% of the total lot area.
Anyone here remember why I have a note on building height?
Oh, I can
Yeah.
tell you.
Yeah, because I
When-
have
when-
it circled,
As part of the application, there's this chart,
right,
and I guess I left off that number.
yeah.
So what we did is, when I submitted back in December, and I responded to your various comments, I included the building height,
What is the height of it?
30.5.
Okay. Zach, you visited this property?
Go by.
Yeah, I responded to you that just let me know, and we'll
Yep.
get you on the property.
Was able to see it from where I was, but I wasn't able to walk around.
I find it odd that the driveway is over the property line, and that's not,
Anywhere on any of this.
yes, right? It's little things like that that drive me nuts.
Excuse me.
All right, thank you. Anything else you'd like to add before we open it up to the public?
No, I'm here to answer
Okay.
questions from the public.
All righty. Board members, you have any other questions before we open it up to the public here? Okay. All right, at this time, is there anyone out there that has any concerns, comments on this project?
Motion to open.
Oh, yeah. I'll second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So is there anyone out there that has any comments or concerns? All righty. Well, if there's no other comments or no other thing that we would need, that all my notes have been questions I've checked off there. The one thing I still have a question mark is the photos, but I probably lost those in the email. Does the board see any reason to hold this over, or are you feeling confident that we can go to a vote?
Besides not being able to see it yet. I mean, if you wanted me to go out and take a look at it, that was the only issue I would have had.
Yeah, I drove by, like you, I drove by and nothing jumped out at me where I said, whoa,
Oh, yeah.
that's, you know. Anyone? All right, I think we're all pretty comfortable moving forward. If, Ashley, would you mind going over the 5 factors for us?
Sure, would you like a motion to close the public hearing first?
Like, yeah, I'd like to leave it open and we'll close it after. We've done that in the past.
Okay, sure.
Yep.
So the first factor is whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or negative.
I would say, no. Go on there, Ashley.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Whether the benefits calling out it can be achieved by feasible method other than an area variance?
I would say no. Yep.
It's not.
Conti-
Whether the area variance are substantial?
no.
Not really.
Whether the variances will have an adverse effect or impact on physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district?
No.
And whether the human physical use are permitted?
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Ashley.
And if you want, I do have those pictures, if you want to share my screen with those.
Yeah, that'd probably be helpful.
Yeah, sure.
Can you see those?
Yes.
I think there's a total of 30.
Yeah. Put a second story on the building that was pretty much already granted, so the
Yeah.
lot coverage issue was just because we changed the ruling on the lot coverage. They haven't added any lot coverage.
And that's why the height of, that would only be the thing that would impede it if he exceeded the height.
The height isn't crazy.
I would think, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
I don't know,
30.5 the height was.
I don't know why it's not listed like
Yeah,
that.
okay.
Yeah,
That's,
yeah.
Yeah, if they had built this garage without any sort of permits, this would be kind of a different scenario, but he kind of just put a second story on it without,
And
Realizing-
he's not in violation of the height.
no.
No.
It's the lot coverage that changed by the town in 2018. After it was, already built.
It just bothers me that the asphalt driveway is over the property line. And it's not, I know it's not on our
And,
agenda here.
Right.
But something should be done about that.
Yeah, that would be between the two property owners.
Well, say that again?
Normally, something like that, it would have to be resolved between the two property owners.
Yeah, well, it's, I guess, but if I was the other property owner, there's only one resolution.
You got remove
Because
it.
your driveway's on my property.
Yes, remove it.
So, right. Okay, and there's nothing we can do about that there, but I can
No.
just make that suggestion.
you can notify the other property.
Yeah, just, let's be good neighbors, right? And, because that'll just be a problem moving forward for that one property owner that he had nothing to do with. All right, at this time, I'd like to, make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All those in favor?
aye.
Aye. And unless there's anyone up here that feels differently, I feel that we could probably move on with a vote.
I just have one comment for purposes of the seeker, I don't believe you had intended this previously, it is a type 2 action.
What?
And so it doesn't require any review. Yes, under seeker.
have a very,
Yeah, it's difficult, but, all right, well, thank you there, Ash. All right, so, I think at this point, I would like to go ahead and make a motion to grant, which seems to me a pre-existing condition is kind of silly that's in front of us, but needless to say, it is in front of us, so I'd like to go ahead and grant the variances that are in front of us.
Second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. At this time, I'd like to go ahead and have the attorneys draw up all the necessary documentation for us to sign. Is it duly noted? Yes?
I'll
Yes.
second that motion then.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Yeah, so that resolves
Yeah, thank you
you
very
being in front of us, but please talk to your client,
I am
and-
going to mention that to him.
Yeah.
Yes.
right? And just, let's be good neighbors out there, just, I see, because it's over quite a bit, 6.2 feet,
I will mention that to him.
okay?
And you mentioned why we're here, it was because the building department.
Yeah, no,
No
I get it.
Yeah.
No, I understand, it's not, my frustration's not with you,
Yeah,
that's-
Sure.
but thank you. Thanks very much.
Thank you
Thanks
so
for the
much.
cooperation and giving us everything we needed.
My pleasure.
done, Ashley.
Have a good night, everyone.
Thanks, Ashley.
Good night, Ashley.
Thank you, Ashley.
Can I ask the audience something? Was it echoing
On your end?
on your
Nancy?
end as well? Okay. I'm curious if it's because the two TV volumes.
What's that? I'm just messing with you.
I'm just curious if it's the volume on the two TVs at the same time. I don't know.
There's some feedback somewhere.
I think it's George's fault.
Oh, sure. Yeah. All right, moving along, next up on the public hearings, Home Depot. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good to see you again. Please state your name.
Doran Ballin with Kimley Horn on behalf of the applicant Home Depot.
See you again. So it's been a while since you've been in front of us. So this is, public hearing is open.
I don't think it's open
We
yet.
didn't open
I
it?
think it's noticed for tonight,
We
so
Oh,
we
just,
need to
yeah, we
open
just,
it.
The new
he
one?
just
All
handed
right.
the letters in.
So at this point, I'd like to go ahead and make a motion to open the public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Just give us a little recap, or if there's anyone here that's with the public that's interested, just to recap what we're trying to achieve here.
Yeah, so we're trying to remediate violations from the town's code officer regarding unpermitted outdoor storage. So due to permitting this outdoor storage, there's going to be a loss of 31 on-site parking stalls. And the site is currently in the existing condition underparked. So there are 611 existing parking stalls, and we're furthering this deficit by 31. So we're proposing 580 parking stalls, and the required amount based on the building square footage is 918. So we are requesting a variance of 36.8% or 338 spaces. At the last meeting, if you remember, you guys wanted to get confirmation from Woodbury as to whether we'd need anything from them. We reached out to the village and they told us that we're gonna need a site plan amendment from them. So we've gone ahead and made that submission with them, and we're just waiting for the building department to review.
Now, the, the outdoor, the outdoor storage that you were utilizing were like, for lack of better terms, the kiosks or the things that would be taking up parking spaces to begin with?
Exactly, yeah. So it's the plant corrals that they have in the parking lot, and then the truck rentals that they also park out there. So those two are what's making up those 31 spaces.
Right.
And they also have the large format equipment that they rent out as well.
I had Woodbury approval, the traffic study, I had a note on the traffic study, but I think that was already, addressed, right? And then I have a note here, town engineer, but in conjunction, so you're not just in front of the zoning board, you're in front of the planning board, right? We're doing this.
Right, yeah, so planning, I guess, is more concerned about fire safety and site circulation, but because we're increasing the deficit, we need to go before the ZBA just for the parking
Right.
first.
And how is it going with the other boards? Besides, I know you just said, so Woodbury, you need to give them an updated site plan, is that what you said?
So we've submitted to Woodbury as of 2 days ago, so they're still, taking that in and reviewing it. Planning we haven't met with in quite a while, a couple months. They won't see us until we have approval for this variance.
They coordinated or uncoordinated?
Now, that updated, that's weird. Yes?
I guess it's okay, though. I mean, it's just interesting, because there is a legitimate secret issue in regard to the traffic, and the planning board is going to be dealing with the traffic.
Right.
So ordinarily, it'd be a coordinated review, and you could give a feel for where you stand on the variance, but you can't act on it, and then it'd go back to the planning board to have a secret neg deck, presumably, eventually. And then once the neg deck gets issued, then it comes back to you, because that would then allow you to act, and then it would go back to them for the final decision. An uncoordinated review in that context is, I've just got to think about what the ramifications of that are. So that means basically an uncoordinated review means each board is conducting its own independent environmental review. But it's not a type 2 action, which
No.
means that you've got to conduct your own, I don't know, I got to think through it. Do you have any, any views on what you see as this board's secret responsibilities?
Was it the planning board that asked for the traffic study?
I can
Was
only
it- was
presume.
The planning board asked for the traffic study?
So planning hasn't asked for a traffic study. We have a parking study. And I mean, these outdoor storage areas are already being used, obviously, which is why the violation was given. So I'd imagine, if there haven't been any existing complaints or issues with traffic, we wouldn't really be adding to that. The only thing that we're making worse would be the parking, which is why we did the parking study. But planning has not asked for a traffic study yet.
So was the planning board did you give the planning board the updated site plan that you gave to Woodbury?
Planning has, well, they would have a pretty outdated site plan because we haven't been before them in a couple months. Really, the only difference would be the large format equipment that we are showing on the plans now. So the site plan they have shows a deficit of 26 parking spaces versus this one showing 31. That's really the only difference.
But the answer is no, they don't have the updated plan that you gave to Woodbury.
No, because
Okay.
we haven't been before them since.
And when do you go in front of them again, do you know?
I mean, they want to see a variance, I guess, approval. So I mean, not until a decision is made here, I guess. I don't know.
All coming back to me now.
Uncoordinated.
She responded already that it is uncoordinated?
I
didn't hear.
asked her, she hasn't answered me yet.
Okay.
I think they were worried about the back of the store, correct? If I remember correctly, that was the
And
fire
I think
lane?
that was
Fire lane,
cleared
right.
up already, wasn't it?
And then you
Yeah, I
had
mean, we have
updated the plan.
The fire truck circulation, and they were also worried about one of the storage spaces was going over a water easement in the back of the store. So we've tightened that space to avoid the easement in the back there. But yeah, I think their main concern was fire safety. We've got the outdoor storage areas away from all the fire exits in the front of the store, and then the circulation plan shows the truck going around the back as well.
I actually drove back there, and it looked good to me.
Parking study?
We did a parking study, yeah. Yeah, without planning, never asked for the parking study. We just went in with the parking study.
That part of the application package here, do you have that parking study?
Yeah,
There was no traffic study, though, just a parking study.
just a parking study.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, right, that's the study that talked about how it's adequate. It remains, the number of spaces is adequate.
Yeah, there's a survey count based on us going out there, and then there's also counts from aerial imagery dating back, I think, like 10 or 15 years. The highest amount of parking that they saw was from the aerial back in 2007.